Welcome to the Diabetes Revolution podcast with Dr. Sarah Townley, the type 2 diabetes coach, clinical pharmacist, and mom of 7 angels. You don't have to struggle and fight with your blood sugars for the rest of your life. I'm here to teach you the skills you need to control and even reverse this disease. There is such a thing as getting off your meds and creating a future free from diabetes. And you can have it too. Let's get down to business. Hello, my friends. Listen, there's nothing really exciting going on over here. Hardcore Montana winter is hitting us hard right now. We have more snow accumulated outside than I can remember ever seeing in the 15 years I've lived here. And it was like negative 30 degrees Fahrenheit this morning when I woke up. It's brutal. But really, in my house, it's straight up hot. My husband keeps a wood-burning fireplace ripping. So if I'm moving around, I'm usually in a tank top. Isn't that funny? Anyway, I'm annoyed with myself for not planning to be in Mexico or Costa Rica right now. I've made a mental note that this is mandatory for February every year. Please hold me to that. I felt inspired to speak into this microphone for you today just in the last hour. I just got off a call with a client who, by the way, everybody needs to know about. He's had such amazing results. He started coaching with me around the middle of last year, having just been diagnosed with an A1C of 6.5. He has had a normal A1C of 5.2 for the past 4 months. He's off all his meds. He lost 35 pounds and is now working on building muscle and hitting new goals around physical ability and strength. So it's just a really awesome example of what's possible. So while we were in session, I had to ask him a question that I've been turning around in my mind lately. So I've been working on a new group program, and I'm hoping to launch that in March at the earliest. And I'm working with this marketing partner. We're creating all the emails and the free masterclasses and stuff that we need to birth this program into the world right now. So he will often make scripts or ads, and he'll repurpose content that I've already created in the past in order to make these. And then sometimes he just adds things in just to make it flow. So lately, I've been editing these scripts for the masterclasses, which are fire, by the way. I'm super excited about the value that they're offering into the world. And so you need to get on my mailing list if you're not on it right now so that you can catch those when we release them. But there have been many times where he's been using the word effortless when describing what a future without diabetes will feel like. And I always delete that. It just feels like the wrong way to characterize the experience of being in maintenance, having reverse diabetes and just maintaining it going forward. So today, I had to ask my client what he thought. I wanted to know if where he's at now, 4 months having fixed this problem for himself, if there's ease in his life around healing his diabetes, and I wanted to know if he felt that it was effortless or could be effortless soon. And so what did he say? Well, he said, yeah, I do feel like there is ease in my routines because I've built ingrained routines that make it easy. But then he went on to describe how in the last month or so, his family's been dealing with the flu, and it's made it difficult to follow his routines. He was sick, his kids were sick and home from school, and it just made following his normal gym routine, his normal eating habits challenging. And I so related to that. We just had flu in our home too. I got it as well, which took me out of the game for about 3 to 4 days. And I wasn't able to do my normal habits. Instead, I prioritized rest and listening to what my body wanted, which sucked for sure. I didn't enjoy that, but I worked to stay in a space of willingness and acceptance and even gratitude for a body that was working really hard to fight off this virus and heal. So we were reflecting together on his answers, and I saw that we just had the same experience, and we both wanted to return as well as we could to our routines once we're feeling well again, and these obstacles weren't presenting to that anymore. And then we had this incredibly rich discussion around what it feels like to have these routines and put intention behind our physical health. And friends, I want to tell you the truth. Having excellent health is probably never going to be effortless. See, in order to enjoy excellent health, a body that feels strong and rested and without limitation will likely have to put our attention on that. We will have to actively create that. And the process of creating that is a daily commitment. It doesn't create itself. When I think of effortlessness, I think of not having to give it any thought, no attention, which then becomes, unintentional because there's no intention being devoted to that. And this just isn't how most of us are going to create amazing results anywhere in our lives. Think about it. Think of something that you have in your life that you really value, that you had to create with intention. Maybe it's a beautiful marriage or financial freedom, or even something like a thriving garden. Think of something that you prioritize and create with purpose because it really matters to you. It's true that the motivation to tend to that creation comes from how much you value it. And when I think about my children, I don't have to, quote, motivate myself per se to prioritize and take care of their basic needs. I don't have to get up every day, have a conversation with myself of whether or not I'm going to do mom things. And that's because I love and value my children so deeply and so naturally, thank goodness. When something really matters to you, you put your attention on it. And as one of my favorite teachers, Dr. Joe Dispenza, says, where attention goes, energy flows. And you carve out resources for it. You take from one pool of energy that you have every day and give to the things that matter the most to you. We take care of what we value, right? So thinking of something that you have intentionally created in your life, does maintaining that result feel effortless to you? Probably not. You may have routines that support maintaining that, systems that run without a lot of effort from you, but it still requires you to be aware and make choices that create that result, even if you've had it for a long time. And so that is why I don't ever want to claim that life after healing from diabetes will feel effortless. And this is really important to get your expectations right here. I know there are people out there, especially because sometimes they hire me, that think if they just buckle down right now and focus on reversing their diabetes, at some point, maybe in the future, they can go back to not thinking about their food again. That there is a possibility that they can just eat, quote, like a normal person again once they heal. And that expectation is unrealistic because this would look like being unintentional, giving no attention to your health. A person who did the hard work of reversing their diabetes won't likely want to go unconscious around their lifestyle choices again. Because when we look at it, what would that lifestyle end up resembling? What my kids want to eat all the time, probably. Their first priority in their diet when they are children is pleasure. How good something tastes, how satisfying it is to their senses. And we know that with the abundance and engineered design of the foods we have access to at all times now, is exploiting our pleasure center in our brains. Seeking pleasure with food is probably what created diabetes in the first place. So it's not a recipe for optimal physical health, but it is normal. Normal in modern Western countries looks like disease now. 88% of adult Americans meet at least one criteria for metabolic syndrome. Over 50% of adult Americans have diabetes or prediabetes at this time in history. Does that blow your mind? And it's not getting better. It's continuing to climb at an alarming rate. So I wouldn't long for being normal by these standards. So while I'm coaching my client, he relates that at some point, we all have to realize that there are no shortcuts to getting healthy. And I don't blame anyone for looking for shortcuts. Like, we are designed to take the path of least resistance to find the easiest solution to our problems. But in this area of our life, if we want to get extraordinary results, we're going to have to do hard work. And guess why it's hard? This may surprise you. It's hard because it requires us to go inside of ourselves and change who we are. The work is in you, and self-work is the most challenging work we can do. But guess what? It's also the most satisfying work that we can do. Einstein says we can't solve a problem from the same level of consciousness that created it. We literally have to access a higher level of consciousness to solve this problem. We have to expand our understanding and access our power to become bigger than the problem that we created. We have to remove our self-imposed limitations. We have to take responsibility for our unintentional creation instead of choosing to be a victim to our circumstances. We have to believe in possibility and take action in spite of fear and doubt. And we have to keep going even when it doesn't seem like it's working. Think of all we have to overcome in order to successfully heal. It is hard work. And that's when my client thinks about what a caterpillar has to go through in order to become that butterfly, that beautiful, majestic creature that floats through life. It's appalling and downright gross what happens to that caterpillar. It actually dissolves into a formless mess in order to metamorphosize, is that even a word, into its full potential. It's not pretty, it's messy and confusing, and it's definitely not including perfection anywhere in that mess. And this, friends, is the most magical shift in perception that I want to offer you, that I could offer you right now. It's the becoming the powerful creator version of you that is the real prize. We think it's reversing diabetes and claiming our health that is the great accomplishment, but it's not. It's who you evolve to be that is the true victory. Because isn't that what being a human is all about? We come here and experience all manner of adversity and obstacles. Not everyone has the same problems, but in essence, every kind of problem that we're facing in this life offers us the same thing, the opportunity to overcome, to grow and expand beyond that limitation. In order to do that, we have to love ourselves enough to trust our power and wherever you believe that comes from. And by doing that, in order to realize our potential, that brings the deepest satisfaction that we all desire. So I'll say it. It's maybe a ludicrous thing to propose, especially if you're newly diagnosed. But seeing it in this way could completely change how you look at your disease. What if having type 2 diabetes is the best, worst thing that ever happened to you? What if it's really just the place in your life that you're being challenged to create with intention, to overcome your self-imposed limitation and to realize your power and your potential? If that is what it offered to you and you capitalized on it, how would that impact all the other places in your life where you feel lack of power? Who would you be in this world if you used this problem as the fire that forged you into steel? This is what I want you to consider. That is my message for you today. I love you. Okay, don't leave yet. You're going to want to hear about this. If you love my podcast, If I'm the only sane voice you've found on this subject, if I've already helped you, you need to check out my online course. It's a start to finish, step-by-step video course that teaches you all the tools you need to know to beat this disease. You can find it on my website, sarahtownley.com, along with lots of other free tools that will make taking care of your diabetes so much easier. So get over there right now. See you there.